Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. And today we're going to be making cookies. We're going to make pecan roll cookies, and it's a little butter cookie with pecans in it. You can toast your pecans. I'm not going to toast them today, but you cut your pecans in little bitty pieces and you mix up the dough, and then you separate it into about 3 sections and you roll it until you get a long cylinder. And you wrap it in saran, put it in the freezer, and when you get ready to make cookies, you just bring a roll out, thaw it enough that it will slice without just crumbling off. You have a delicious butter pecan cookie to have with your coffee or tea, or just for a run by and grab it for a snack. So I'm going to try to move the camera closer to the mixer where y'all can see what I'm doing, and then when we get through mixing them and putting them up, I'll bring you back when I bring a roll out and bake some of them, and you can see the whole process. They're good. Okay, into the mixing bowl I have a pound of butter, and I use the salted butter, and it's at room temperature, so it's already pretty soft. Into that we're going to put 1 box of light brown sugar. Now, most of the time I buy the 2-pound bags, so 1 box is equal to 2 1/4 cups of packed brown sugar. So I'm going to mix my butter just a little bit, and I'm going to add my 2 1/4 cups of light brown sugar into the mixing bowl. It smells good. I just like to smell brown sugar. And I'm going to mix that until it's real good and creamy. And then I'm going to add to that 1 egg. And if you have little bitty eggs, you can go ahead and use 2. Mine today were very small. My eggs today are small, so instead of just 1 large, I'm going to put 2 small eggs in it. Let me scrape it down, be sure I've got all of it incorporated here. And when you first start rolling those cylinders out, they're kind of a little bit of a mess, but I've been making these cookies. I remember when I was in elementary school, my mother worked, and it was Christmas party. Mother agreed to make some cookies for the party. But of course she couldn't come to the party. Well, she made pecan roll cookies. And I was so proud of my cookies because they were homemade and we liked them. Well, when I got to school with them, the other kids' mamas had made Santa Clauses and Christmas trees, and they were iced and pretty. And my little cookies wasn't pretty as theirs. And I was so sad. But I noticed that the adults that were there weren't eating the pretty cookies. They were eating Mama's cookies. And they said, these are the best homemade cookies we've ever had. So I don't know if they made their pretty cookies or bought them, but I've never forgot that. I wanted my mama to make Santa Clauses too, but she made pecan roll because that was one of our favorites. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add in a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my egg. And then I'm just going to mix it really well with the sugar and butter. Let me see if I can make sure we're mixing what we should. Oh yeah, there's no sugar stuck to the bottom or anything. It looks nice. I'll whiz it just a little bit more. And then I will start adding the flour in. Okay, it also calls for a cup of pecans. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm using my Tupperware power shelf. And I want it in little bitty pieces, because if you leave big hunks, when you slice a cookie, it'll crumble because that big hunk will come out of the part next to it. So make them very small pieces of pecans. See how small? You need them to be very small so they won't mess up the integrity of the cookie. Okay, I'm going to start adding in my flour a little at a time. Start out on low because I'll have flour everywhere. One time I'm turning this off and on, and I call that bumping it. Well, I told a friend of mine how to make something on cookies probably. I said, and you just bump it till you get all of the flour incorporated. So she put all of her flour in, turned it on, and went to hitting it like that. She had a mess everywhere. Okay, that's mixing pretty good. Add the rest of it in. Six cups of flour in. Okay. Now let's get it all mixed up. See that bump, bump, bump? Not that. You mix her off and on. Bumping it on and off. That's just my terminology. And it's a thick dough. It really is, but it sure is yummy. Isn't it funny how when you start making something it has that familiar smell? I remember, I always loved the smell of that brown sugar when Mom would be mixing these cookies up. Incorporate the pecans into the flour. Get it all down in there. Mama, I told y'all Mama used to bake for the public. She catered, and there was a furniture store in our hometown, Mosby Furniture, and they served cookies, and I don't know if they had wassail or what they had with them, but at Christmas time, and Mother always baked the cookies. Sometimes I helped her. But of all the kinds, and she'd make 6 or 8 kinds, and they'd have this big silver tray with cookies. And Mr. Mosby said, Miss Trevathan, I don't know what you call them, but my favorite one is that one that looked like you just rolled it up and sliced it. She said, Mr. Mosby, that's exactly what I did, and that's my favorite too. So that's the cookie we're making today. And I think that that's mixed enough. It feels pliable. And my hands are clean. Me and my brother, we'd sneak in there to the icebox and get Mama's roll of cookies out. And she could always tell because we'd try to cut us a bite of raw cookie dough and it would have a broke off jagged edge. So we couldn't put it past her, but we love to go eat some of this cookie dough. Y'all might not eat raw cookie dough, but we did. And I'm guilty now, I guess. I still taste it. Okay, I've divided the dough out, and I think I'm going to make four rolls. So here's what you do. You get it, and you press it around, and you bunch it together, and you pat it, and you roll it, and because if you don't, you're going to have a space in the middle, like a crack. And you can feel it when you start rolling it. You have to work with it to get it all compacted. Just keep squishing it in. Shaping it. And you can make them smaller or larger, whatever you want. These I'm going to make a little bit smaller because they're going to be used at a function that everybody will just come by and get them a cookie. So I'm just going to have them like 2 bites to the cookie maybe. Some people just put the whole thing in there. See, I had a little place there in the middle once you work with it a little while, you don't have that space in the middle. I don't know if it's an air hole or what it is, but... And I've never tried it, but I bet you could leave the pecans out and add some lemon extract and have lemon cookies. And I do love lemon. Just a thought. I think this one's about done. It doesn't feel weak in the middle here, so. Okay, so here's what you do. You get you some saran wrap or whatever brand you've got. And you lay it down. Put your dough on it. Well, I like to put my dough this direction because I like to pinch the ends of it where I know it's sealed, won't get deep freeze flavors in it. And you roll it up, twist your ends, and that one is ready to go into the freezer. Isn't that cool? I'm going to keep rolling these other three, and then I'll bring you back and show you when I get done. Okay, I've got 4 rolls. This one's a little shorter than the other ones. I'm going to put them into the freezer, and then when they get firm enough that I can slice them, about 1/4 inch thick, I'll bring you back. Now, if you don't want to take time to roll them out, you can make little balls and squish them with your hands and bake them now. But I just like that little sliced cookie look, and it's so convenient to have them in the refrigerator, in the freezer, and you can have cookies when you get ready. Doesn't take them too long to get, thawed enough to cut. So we'll see you back here when we start cooking cookies. Okay, I'm getting ready to put some of the cookies into the oven. And you just slice them about 1/4 inch thick. And they don't spread out much when you cook them. Have you ever had a cookie and you like to dunk it in your coffee or your hot chocolate or your hot tea? This is the perfect cookie for that because it don't fall apart. I hope y'all try this, and don't give up the first time you try to make the little cylinders, because you have to pat it and squeeze it and pat it and squeeze it to get it to do like I was doing, but it sure is worth it. They're good. Okay, I wanted to read the recipe card to you just in case you couldn't stop your computer and write down the ingredients. It's 1 pound of butter or 4 sticks of butter, and use salted butter because the recipe does not have salt. So 1 pound of butter, a box of brown sugar or 2 1/4 cups firmly packed. If you buy the 2-pound bag, that equals 1 box. 6 cups of flour, a teaspoon of vanilla, 1 large egg or 2 small eggs, and about 1 cup of finely minced pecans. And you're going to cream your butter, add your brown sugar, cream that really well, add your egg and vanilla, cream it some more, and then slowly add in your 6 cups of flour and your pecans. Now, it tastes really good if you toast the pecans, but I didn't take time to do that today. And then you divide it into 3 or 4 hunks of dough, and roll it into the cylinders like I've showed you in the video. Wrap it and put it in your freezer until you're ready to use it. And it keeps a long time in the freezer, especially if you wrap it good and it's airtight. So I just wanted to give y'all a chance to hear the recipe, write it down if you wanted to.